Hi, everyone. We're going live in less than 1 minute. Got it. Oh, should I have the screen up? Do. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Top of the hour. Let's dive in. Okay, great. Well, welcome everybody to today's workshop. Why your dog is still itching. Nothing is helping my itchy, stinky dog. I've tried everything, every remedy. Now what? I'm Christine Sten, certified pet therapeutic nutrition coach and founder of THRIVEnaturally Pet Wellness, where we provide education, personalized plans, and implementation support that help pet parents find answers and pet professionals elevate the care that they provide to our pets. Well, I thought it would be fun to kind of kick off today with a little fun exercise. How many of us have bought a new food because we were hopeful that that would bring healing and support for our chronically itchy and stinky dog? Let's kind of poll ourselves and raise our hands if we want to. Yep. Now, how many of us have tried or switched shampoos because we were hopeful that that remedy might help bring some relief to our itchy, stinky dog? And then how many of us have tried medications or added supplements because we saw on a Facebook group or a friend told us that this helped their dog and we were hopeful that it would help our itchy, stinky dog finally find some relief? And then finally, how many of us have thrown some treats into the mix that are targeted at sensitive skin or itchy skin or a stinky dog, hopeful that once again that this was going to be the magic remedy that would help our dog find some relief? Well, if anybody kept their hands raised throughout that exercise or raise their hand to or two or three even of those things, one thing that a lot of pet parents have in common is that we've all been influenced at some point in our lives to try one product, switch foods, try another product, all with the hope that this is finally going to be the answer that our dog needs to heal his chronic itching. So during this workshop, I'm really hoping to answer 5 questions for us all. One is starting with, why does healthy skin actually matter in dogs? And secondly, we're going to talk about what are the causes of chronic itching. And then I'll go into, well, despite everything we've tried, why does my dog keep itching? And then from there, we're going to really pivot to what's a better way to support a chronically itchy dog. And then I'm going to guide you through a process, a structured approach to figuring out what your dog actually needs. So first, we're going to talk about why the subject matters so much and why healthy skin matters. So really quick, when you think about your dog's skin, what job do you think it provides? I'll bet most of you are saying out loud or thinking to yourself, providing protection. And that's exactly right. The skin is the body's most important skin barrier, both to the inside world as well as the outside world, or the outside world and the inside world. Excuse me. It's also one of your dog's body's most primary detox pathways. As a matter of fact, often people refer to the skin as the third kidney. And it's also a very dynamic organ. It's constantly replenishing in itself. And every 22 days, the dog's skin fully regenerates every 22 days. So, knowing that the skin serves these vital functions for your dog's body should highlight really why this topic is so important. So let's look at what are all the causes of chronic itching in dogs. So if you're asking yourself, well, what's causing this? You're really starting off by asking the right questions. Some of the usual suspects are, as you might imagine, food allergies like protein allergies, carbohydrate allergies in grains, any additives within the food. Environmental allergies is one of the number one reasons why, dogs go in and see their veterinarian. Direct skincare routine can either be helpful to the dog's skin layer, or it can be a deterrent for the dog in building healthy skin. And obviously, pests is a no-brainer. We deal with fleas and tick prevention all the time. But also, we've also seen things like gut dysfunction, and when the gut isn't, performing at its optimum, then the rest of the body tends to follow suit. And then the last usual suspect, there's things like hydration. Obviously, if the skin isn't hydrated, it's not going to be able to do its job of serving as that protective barrier. But there's also some overlooked culprits that I want to help people kind of become aware of as you're thinking about your dog's skin and what some of the root causes are. Um, Nutritional complexity is something that I see all the time across food, supplements, treats, chews. There can be a wide variety of ingredients that the dog's body is being asked to process and know what to do with. And in a healthy dog, that might look okay, but in a dog whose skin is already struggling or they're already in an inflammatory state, nutritional complexity can really throw the dog into an even higher inflammatory or more pronounced inflammatory or itchy state. The flip side to that is nutritional deficiencies. Incomplete fats, for example. Oftentimes you'll see mysterious fats. You'll see different kinds of fats like animal fat or vegetable fat or canola oil or AKA rapeseed oil going into the dog's food. And while those fats technically allow the pet food companies to claim that the food is high in omega fats, it's actually higher in omega-6 fatty acids, which is the inflammatory fat, and not high enough in the omega-3 fatty acids, which is the anti-inflammatory fat. And that can throw an already inflamed dog into an even more inflammatory state. And then there's key vitamins and minerals that I see all the time that are missing in dogs' food. And these key vitamins and minerals are vitamins, minerals, and fats that the dog specifically needs to maintain a healthy skin barrier. Then there's something called immune dysregulation. In some dogs, the immune system will detect a trigger. It will overproduce histamines, inflammatory chemicals, cytokines, and all of the things that it pushes out to the skin layer in a normal reaction to be able to deal with a threat. In some dogs, the overreaction to a perceived threat puts the dog in a chronic itching cycle, which then tells the skin layer not to turn off. So simply put, the immune system got pushed, the skin overreacted, and the immune system then forgot to turn off. So if what's causing the itching is the first good question, the much more important next question is, well, despite everything I'm trying, why does my dog keep itching? And as we noticed in the beginning of this presentation, when we went through the exercise, one of the things we found we all had in common is that we kept focusing on remedies and symptoms and products as a potential cure for our dog's chronic itching. So why the dog might be continuing to itch is that our focus has been on symptoms and remedies only that are point solutions and are targeting specific individual symptoms and reacting to symptoms as they're individually occurring. And then we're in this constant perpetual cycle of chasing those symptoms and trying to find the next promising remedy, food, supplements, treats, chews to help our dog finally find some comfort. So, if continuing to focus on the symptoms or the remedies only is what's contributing to why he keeps itching, well, then what? So, just to highlight again why this matters, right? The skin serves vital functions for your dog's body. So, knowing that, and that by focusing on symptoms and trying to find remedies only is one of the contributing factors as to why the dog keeps itching. We really need to shift our focus from symptoms and remedies to really shifting our focus to helping our dog build healthier skin and asking, what does my dog actually need? And what that really looks like is, how can we support the dog in building healthier skin from the inside out and the outside in? And how do we combine multiple layers of support that really align with what matters most for your dog and addresses what they need the most? And really helping to restore and maintain that healthier skin barrier, not chasing symptoms as they occur or the next promising remedy as it might come onto the market. So, quite literally, shifting our focus from trying new products and new remedies, hopeful that that's going to help our dog, and shifting our focus to our dog's priority. And what support does my dog actually need? Quite literally, placing priorities over products. Again, why does this matter so much? We all know, we've gone through it a couple times now. Your dog's skin serves that vital functions for its body. And so when your dog's skin is healthy and it's at its peak, not only is it serving the skin serving that vital function for its body, but healthy skin is more resilient and it makes your dog harder to make itch in the future. So up till now, we've answered, what are the causes of chronic itching? We've answered, why does my dog keep itching despite everything I've tried so far? And why your dog's skin health is so important. I'm going to dig into, well, how do I figure out what my dog needs to build healthier skin? So I want to share this with you all because this is a structured framework that I use to understand a dog's current skin health issues and situation and determine what a dog actually needs to heal, restore, and maintain a healthy skin barrier. I look at it from the three pillars of inside out nutrition, outside in skincare, and targeted functional support. Now, inside out nutrition really looks at what are the nutritional building blocks that this dog is receiving and that they might need in order to be able to restore, build, and maintain that healthy skin barrier. Outside in outside in skincare really refers to what skin level support is the dog currently getting and what skin level support do they need to support more resilient and a stronger skin barrier at the surface level. And then third, targeted functional support really looks at what supplements, medications, and treatments are currently being used or could be used to help the dog be able to build and maintain a healthy skin barrier. So up until now, we've been talking about principles. And here's where things become really personal. I'm going to take you, in the next few slides, I'm going to really take you through this framework using a recent client example. So every itchy dog has a different story. And before I recommend any product, any new food, any new supplement, any new bathing strategy, I first want to collect the clues, right? I want to understand what's going on with each individual dog from the inside out, the outside in, and understand what additional support that they're getting so that I can understand exactly what's lacking and where the gaps might need to be filled. Just at this point, just collecting the clues and making observations, not trying to deem whether anything is good or bad. So, for example, some of the questions I dig into when I'm doing an assessment with clients is we dig into what is your dog eating? Proteins, fats, carbohydrates, what are the ingredients in their treats? What else does your dog like to eat? Because boy, I'll tell you what, that reveals a lot of really interesting and fun things. Then we talk about their water intake. How is water being offered? Is the dog a really good voluntary drinker, or might we have to figure out other ways to get hydration into their system? I like to know if there's multiple dogs in the household or if it's a blended pet household of dogs, cats, and other pets that might be some cross exposures to. And then, of course, we always go into the stool quality because someone once said the proof is in the poop, and it really is. From an outside in perspective, I'd like to get a really good inventory of what symptoms are you seeing as a pet parent. Are they happening individually at different times? Are the symptoms happening at the same time? What's the frequency, the duration, and the severity of those symptoms that you're seeing when you're seeing them? What's the bathing routine look like? What topicals, if any, are you using? What shampoos are you using? I also like to understand what the flea and tick repellent and prevention strategy is in your home, as well as understanding what laundering and cleaning supplies you're using, because those will be outside in exposures for your dog on an every single day basis. And then what toys do they have and what are they made from? Finally, from a targeted functional support perspective, I really want to dig in and understand what supplements or medications have you tried? What functions are they aligned with? What types of things are you trying to support? Are you trying to support their immune function better? Are you trying to reduce inflammation? Are you trying to give them some nervous system support? I like to understand what are all of the supplements and medications that the dog is currently taking and how they're aligned to what functions you're trying to support. I also like to know if the dog is currently taking Apoquel or if Cytopoint is in the picture as well, because that will definitely determine what kind of recommendations come out of this full assessment. And I also want to know what's worked, even if temporarily. How did it work? What symptoms did it take away, and for how long did it work? So having now gone through this first process of collecting the clues, now so when a parent says to me, my dog is itching and won't stop no matter what I've tried, what food do I switch to? Can we see now why that's a little bit more of a difficult question to answer, having seen that we need to really collect the full picture, collect the clues of the full picture and everything that's going on. Once we've collected all of the clues across these three pillars, then we start connecting the dots. So for this client, after collecting all of those clues across inside out nutrition, outside in skincare, and targeted functional support, I started by connecting the dots from what I've learned. And this is what I found. I found that on a daily basis, they were feeding known protein and connective tissue allergen food and treats. So what that meant is they actually had an allergy test done, and a couple of the known allergens that were on there, such as glucosamine and chicken, were continuing to go into the dog's diet. I also saw that there was exposure to other common protein food sensitivities like beef and lamb. Now, that's not to say that beef and lamb and chicken are food allergens for every dog. It really depends on every single dog. But beef is one of the most common reported food allergens in dogs. So I always want to keep my eye on that. I also noticed that there were key health nutritional gaps, such as missing omega-3s from her diet completely. And then the key vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and microbiome support that dogs also need to build and maintain healthy skin were completely missing from her diet. And then I also saw that there was overexposure to omega-6 fatty acids in her diet, which threw that omega-3 and omega-6 anti-inflammatory balance even further out of balance. From the outside in, I took note that this dog's really been struggling with this chronic itching issue for 6 years, and it's quite severe in terms of frequency and severity. She's licking, itching, Her paws are raw. And this is every day, all day, every day. She has hot spots. Her poor paws are tender to the touch. She wouldn't even let me touch the bottom of them. She flinched right away. And then they had been trying some really great bathing routines. Their hygiene for this dog was exceptional, and they were using a really good emollient-rich shampoo, which was giving this dog relief in between bathing sessions for about a week. So that was a little bit of goodness that I saw in her current plan. From a targeted support perspective, I looked at the nutritional gaps, in the omega-3. They weren't really supplementing with omega-3 fatty acids at all. They were giving a digestive enzyme. And I was really looking at that. And the first question that came to my mind is, well, what function are we trying to support with this digestive enzyme? And what I discovered in the conversation that I had with them is that she had a dietary discomfort, likely due to a lot of the nutritional triggers, and they were trying to soothe that. So I was noticing that the supplement that they were giving weren't really aligned with the health function or the health signals that we're trying to solve for. And not only that, but there were ingredients in the supplement itself that were causing additional digestive distress for her. So after we've collected all the clues and connected the dots to begin to understand what's going on in this dog's world and what she might actually need, then I start to really prioritize what the dog needs. So for this particular dog, I saw that we really needed to prioritize inside out nutrition and a little bit of targeted functional support for this dog in the first phase. Because I noticed that the daily known protein allergies that were being fed on a consistent basis and exposure to the other commonly known food allergies. And then specifically also because of the key skin health nutritional gaps of omega-3 deficiencies, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and microbiome support that the dog needs to build healthy skin. I noticed that those were lacking in her diet, so I'm prioritizing that as first. And then the overexposure to omega-6. So just seeing the amount of contributing factors and the inside out nutritional category led me to want to prioritize that as number one. And then the close second to that then is as a second priority is targeted functional support, really focusing on filling those nutritional gaps around the omega-3 fatty acids and really giving her some therapeutic levels of omega-3 so that she can bring that inflammatory fat and anti-inflammatory fat ratio back into balance. And then really then look at that digestive enzyme and getting that out of there and look at some better targeted functional support strategies that really align with the skin health issues that we're looking to solve for in the first place. After I've presented the findings and the priority strategy to a client, and we've aligned that, yes, that's the direction that we want to head, then I dive into actually building the plan. So for this client, we started phase one by implementing a diet that is nutritionally complete, providing those healthy fats that we're missing from her diet, the key vitamins, minerals, antioxidants to restore, build, and maintain a healthy skin layer. We're we're eliminating the dietary triggers, such as the beef and the chicken and the glucosamine that were in her diet and her treats. And then we're going to eliminate the inflammatory fats that she was getting in her previous diet, and then really restore gut function by introducing naturally occurring probiotics and enzymes to really restore the gut's ability to absorb all those great nutrients now that we're giving her. And in priority two, under the targeted support category, we're really looking at replacing the digestive enzymes that she was previously being given. We're discontinuing the glucosamine. We're introducing marine sourced omega-3 therapy to the dog to bring that back into balance. And then we're going to really reassess and determine at the 90-day mark whether we need to increase or decrease that omega-3 therapy, or introduce additional interventions around inflammation support or immune regulation or potentially nervous system support. And then third, I recommended that they maintain their current bathing routine. And then we're going to reassess again at the 90-day mark to find out really where she's at, how she's responding to priority one and priority two, and identify whether there might be a need to introduce microbubble hydrotherapy bathing techniques to get some of those trapped debris and toxins from immune events past out of her skin layer, and at the surface level be able to enable her skin to contribute to building greater resilience at the surface level. So once we have the plan successfully implemented, we want to monitor really and see how the dog is responding to the plan. And this really allows us to continue to collect those clues, connect the dots, and prioritize what we're focusing on an ongoing basis around the dog's individual priorities. So sometimes you'll implement a new plan and you'll start seeing progress right away. But then all of a sudden, one of the symptoms spikes again. And this reminds me of a story of another recent client that I was working with, where we implemented the plan and we were making great progress and seeing all of the symptoms start to really calm down. And then all of a sudden, the dog had another flare up of itching and tender paws. And we went back to the process of collecting the clues, and we learned that from the inside out nutritional foundation, that the food that we had transitioned the dog to had changed one of the first 5 ingredients. Now, mind you, this was a food that was supposed to be turkey only. And they had changed the ingredients from turkey only to having ground chicken and chicken organ meat in their formulation within the first 5 ingredients. And for me, that was the immediate clue that we needed that was causing this additional spike. Now, that doesn't mean that we changed foods right away, but what we did was we said, all right, well, let's pivot to a different protein that we know doesn't have those dietary triggers in there. And this is how we can continue to refine and monitor what's going on with the dog before we modify and they make any big changes. So the good news is the body really wants to heal. So when we provide the right support and the right building blocks, we really enable the dog's body to do what it was born to do, was made to do, which is identify immune triggers and immune events, have the immune system respond appropriately, and shut back off, and have the ability to build and maintain that healthy, more resilient skin barrier. Even small changes matter. You know, I always say that all itchy dogs need all 3 of those pillars to build and maintain a healthy and more resilient skin barrier, but not all itchy dogs need all 3 all at once. So let's find out what matters most, focus on that, and then determine where we can fine tune. So even the small changes and small things that you do for your dog can matter. Even attending this seminar is a small thing that you can do that can go a long way towards helping your dog. And then every single step you do, it really counts. So I just wanted to review really quickly what we've talked about today. We've all been in the same boat. We've all tried remedies. We've chased the symptoms. We've tried the next promising product that we thought would bring our poor fur baby relief from his chronic itching, just to be more frustrated, if not, more frustrated and feeling helpless than we were before. Now we better understand why that approach doesn't often work. And we learn that skin isn't just skin. It's a vital organ that provides important jobs for your dog's body. We learn that there are multiple causes, some of skin itching in dogs, some which we already knew about, and some that we didn't know about. And then we learned about a better way to support your dog's skin health. And then we learned we really want to put your dog's priorities before we really try shifting to any new product or just layering a new product into the mix. Because if you just switch to a new food, what if that new food wasn't what your dog needed the most. And again, you're just as frustrated, if not more frustrated, 30 days from now than you were before you switched the food to begin with. And so now you also have a framework for collecting those clues, prioritizing your dog's priorities and finding out what they actually need, and building a better plan. And then continuing to use this framework as you go along to continue to monitor before you modify anything in those three building blocks, those three pillars that they need. So, in closing, I hope that if I've left you with nothing else during this time that we've spent together today, that there's two things that you take away from this. That number one, the better way to support dogs with chronically itchy skin is to shift from focusing just on symptoms and stop asking, how do I make the itch go away, to shifting towards building healthier, more resilient skin for your dog, and start asking, what does my dog need most in order to be able to build and maintain healthier skin? And secondly, the skin does serve vital functions for your dog's body, and that when skin health is at its peak, healthy skin is more resilient and it's harder to make your dog itchy in the future. So I have carved out some time for questions, and I would like to open it up to the audience. If you've been listening to this, I'm sure you've been jotting down notes and thinking about the questions that you'd like to ask. Um, that's what the next few moments are. So, what questions can I answer for you? One of the questions, maybe I'll just kick this off a little bit. One of the questions that a client recently asked me was, it's a little bit too much information, but hey, let's have fun with it. I was at a recent brow waxing appointment, and I was chatting with the esthetician, and she found out what I do for a living, and she asked me if she could ask me a question. I said, sure. She said, well, gosh, my dog. Um, just keeps itching and I don't know what to do about it. What food should I feed? So tonight I think we've covered a little bit why maybe what food do I feed is not the right question. So I explained to her that the structured approach I use is helps us better understand and get to the heart of what matters most to each individual dog so that we can align the right plan and then layer the products into that plan. And that's really the framework that I was aiming to teach and share with you all today. So excuse me, was not about sending you on your way with yet another product recommendation or yet another remedy recommendation. It's really been about giving you a better way to think about your dog's skin health and a better framework for how to build a better plan around the priorities of what your dog actually needs. And then you build the plan and layer your products into there. So if you're ready to get started on your dog's plan right away, you can download the Skin Wellness System resources and worksheets in the video description below. If you'd like to request and receive the full guided implementation kit with worksheets that will guide you through every step of the way, just send an email to csten@thrivenaturallypetcare.com with the subject line request guided implementation kit, and I will work with you to get that over to you. If you're interested, you're not quite sure if you're ready to dive in quite yet, and you want to just have a thought partner to talk it out really quickly before deciding what you want to do next, in the video description as well, you'll see excuse me, not in the video description. You can request a complimentary clarity call with me by emailing csten@thrivenaturallypetcare. with the subject line of request a clarity call, and I will get my calendar link over to you. We can sit down on a quick call. You can tell me what's going on with your dog, and then we can discuss what might be some of the appropriate next steps for you. Well, I want to thank everybody so much for being here with me today and for caring so deeply about your fur babies. It's always so heartwarming to see a community of pet parents just wanting to strive so hard to make their pets' health the best it possibly can be. I want to thank you again for being here, and I hope you all have a great day.